Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. I have the new Lancome Beauty Box. This is one of those products that I haven't reviewed in a couple of years, and I'm kind of excited to try it again. There was a long time where I was a devoted Lancome user. I used all of their skincare and only their makeup. That was kind of like early 20s to about 30 years old. Maybe at about 32, I was still using Lancome skincare, but I'd branched out with other makeup items. And then I had kids and I couldn't afford Lancome skincare anymore. And then I started finding other things that I liked that weren't as expensive as this. But I think the holidays is an excellent time if you like Lancome products, especially some of their core products, to pick up a set like this. So if you were to buy this at a department store or at Ulta, you would have to pay $42 or more for a product from the Lancome line, and then you could purchase this box for $75 additional dollars. And that price, if you could find something for $42, it would be $117. I spent $103 on this. It's not that much savings, but you know, I'll take every dollar I can squeeze out of Lancome for this. What they allowed me to do is to pick a product. I picked a mascara and I bundled that with this. And they sent me both items. The total price was $103. After tax, I think it was like $111. But what really surprised me was that I didn't have to pay the price that I would pay if I went to my local Macy's, or if my mom were to pick it up at her Dillard's or Von Maur or any other department store, where you would have to pay the $42 price point and then for one product or multiple products, and then add this on top. So let's take a look inside the box, just to let you know you can get it a little bit less on the Lancome website. It comes in this really pretty zippered bag. It's kind of thick. It's really quite large. I know there's a plastic insert in here that kind of holds everything together, but I do like the look of this. It has the iconic Lancome rose embossed on the front, and I think it's really a pretty sort of bag. It feels a little briefcasey, a little suitcasey, but I'm not mad at it. This is what's on the inside. What surprises me is that this insert here is all cardboard. I assumed it was going to be plastic like it has been in years past, and I'm glad to see that they're moving away from plastic and using cardboard, which is recyclable. The inside of the bag has the Lancome label right here. It's got kind of a nice satin interior. The zipper feels really nice, and this portion of the bag here is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of sturdy. I feel like there's something in there, maybe a piece of cardboard or something that's firm, to give it a little bit of rigidity so I don't feel like it's going to collapse in on itself. I'm going to pull everything out of the insert and we'll go from there. I don't have any skincare on, and I wanted to start by using what's in here to kind of prep my skin today. I'm going to start out with this. This is the Advanced Genifique. This is one of their hydrating and also anti-aging serums. I used to use this all the time. This was one of those things that when it first launched, I don't remember how long ago it was, this was one of those things that I used religiously. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I remember listening to the lady at the Lancome counter talking about, you know, it's never too early to use an anti-aging serum, and I bought it. And, you know, I like the way that it feels on my skin, but this is an expensive product. The 1 ounce, and this is a full size 1 ounce. It does come in larger sizes, but they initially launched with the 1 ounce, is $78. And there are so many other kind of anti-aging properties, but beautiful serums that I like to use that are even less than half the price of this. I normally put my skincare on right out of the shower, and it's been a minute. So I was hoping this would help to kind of make my skin feel a little less tight, and it did. It's been years since I've used this product, but it's one that I'm familiar with. Another one that I'm familiar with and haven't used in years is the Genifique eye cream. This is another full-size product. I like that we're getting so many full-size products in this set. I am going to probably, just take off the little lid here, and I'll use just a little bit of what's on this interior cap. This is probably way too much. And I'm just gonna tap this on underneath the eye here. This has a slightly different feeling to it. This feels a little bit, creamier. The other one felt very lightweight. The serum felt very lightweight, and this definitely feels more emollient, and it has a little bit more of a, almost like a silky but slippy, slightly silicone-y feel. I'm really curious to see how this wears underneath makeup for today, because I haven't used this eye cream in forever. but instantly my under eyes definitely feel hydrated, and I was feeling really tight, especially in this area, and that feeling is completely gone. The face cream that comes in here is the Rénergie Lift. This is the Multi-Action Ultra. It has an SPF of 30 in here. Remember always to wear a dedicated sunscreen, because you're gonna have to use so much of this to get the allotted amount. It would be maybe a little too much to go underneath makeup if you were doing like a skincare only type of day, perhaps, but I always prefer at least an SPF 50, so always wear a dedicated sunscreen. This definitely has that slightly fragranced sort of skincare scent. This is a half ounce, and normally this cream comes in a 1 ounce, like the full size is the 1 ounce. I'm gonna put this on. And this is valued at $30. They do sell this half ounce size, which I think is great. When you have a smaller size, it allows people to try it without making the large size commitment. And this is more than you would normally get if you were to get this product as a sample and gift. It would probably be more like a 7 to 10 day sample size. And this is definitely more than that. Oh, it's been a long time since I've smelled that Lancome skincare scent. It's nostalgic for me. Lancome was one of those few brands that I was exclusively brand loyal to. Clinique in my teens and early 20s, and then to Lancome in my 20s and early 30s, where I wore nothing but Lancome skincare and makeup. And the scent is very reminiscent, and it takes me back to a younger time, because that was pre-children. That was a long time ago. I've got a girl who's nearly 15 now. So my skin is feeling so much better. Oh, I just realized, I forgot to put this on. Oh, right, this is the Tonique Confort. This is the kind of for dry skin, but it's like a hydrating toner. And I should have put this down first before I put the serum on. Yes, this also has that Lancome smell. As I'm rubbing this into the back of my hands, because that's really the only place I have left to put this on, it has a slightly glycerin-y feel without feeling greasy, which is nice. And as it starts to kind of soak in and dry down, now it feels like I have nothing on my hands, but my hands are finally not feeling dry and tight. This is 50 mils or 1.7 ounces, and they have like sizes that are so big, they're like jumbo. This seems like the sort of product they would put in a gift with purchase. This isn't, it might be slightly larger, they might have slightly smaller bottles, but the value for this is $7.37 based on like the largest size, that is 800 mils, this is 50 mils, and breaking it down by there, this being 1/8 of that is $7.37. So I'm glad to have it, and again, it's a nice size to try. It's not so small that like 3 or 4 days later, did it do any good? I'm out. I feel like you could definitely use this for a long time. Another skincare item that I'm not going to use right now, but it is a beloved favorite of mine, is the Bi-Facil. This is a biphase, you can see there's 2 levels here, of a makeup remover. You can use this to remove waterproof eyeliner, waterproof mascara, a long wear lipstick like a matte liquid lipstick, or something that really has staying power through the day. This is easy. So what you want to do is give it a shake. And then you pour some out on a cotton round or a cotton square, and you can hold it over your eyes for a couple of seconds and then slightly massage gently to break down eyeliner, mascara, eyeshadow. And then as you gently swipe away, most of your stuff is gone. And I can just really get rid of most of it in a couple of swipes. This has been a favorite. I always think of it as unicorn tears. It's magical. It has amazing abilities to like clean up a line of liquid eyeliner that's gone rogue. It has the ability to completely, without losing lashes, take off a waterproof mascara. This is amazing. I've been using this since my early 20s, and I have, since then, I'll be 48 in January, never been without a bottle of this. I've tried other makeup removers, and yeah, there are other ones out there that are good. There are other biphase ones. This one's still my favorite, and I don't know whether it's nostalgia or just the quality of the product, but every time a set like this comes out, this is one of the things that makes it worth it for me. And if you were to get this size, this 4.2 ounce size, this is $32. I'm already wearing this today, and it's not because of this, because I have a full size of this fragrance. This is La Vie est Belle. It's one of those that I really have enjoyed since they launched it. I recently purchased a 1 ounce bottle of it during the 21 days of Ulta, so I know I'm gonna find use out of this. This size here is just like a little dauber, you know? Smells so nice. But this is one of those things that they don't sell this size. This is definitely one of the promotional items that they put in a gift package like this, or you could get potentially in a gift, in a different sort of gift box. But the smallest size of this fragrance that they sell on the Lancome website is a purse spray, and that's valued at $32. So since this is less than half that, let's just say this is worth like $15.50, but I know that my oldest daughter is gonna grab this and I'll never see it again because she likes this fragrance as well. We're down to just the makeup, so I'm gonna take a minute to put on the rest of the makeup that I didn't get in this set. So we have eye and cheek products in here, a couple of lip products, and a mascara. So I'll be right back. All right, let's put on products from this palette. This palette has both eye and cheek products in it. And the first thing I want to tell you is that look how pretty it is. Oh, it's so, okay, I'm trying to find a way. It's very reflective at this point. It's not glued up with fingerprints yet. We're getting there. But it's got gold on the top. It has that iconic Lancome rose. The bottom portion here is black. It does tell you on the back, you know, the Holiday 2022 Eye and Face palette. It's limited edition. What's interesting about this is that it's not just eyeshadows, but there is a tray that you pull out in the bottom and you have two different sort of blushes, you have a highlight, and then you have a bronzer. And I like that we're getting, you know, kind of a cool and a warm, and I think that this bronzer is kind of listed as universal, depending on your skin tone, but I feel like it's not cool and it's not warm, so it's not too orangey, and I don't feel like it's too like grayish. I feel like when they're talking universal, maybe not in tone, but maybe in undertone, so it's not too much. I feel like this highlight here might actually be a little too dark for my fair skin, but that's okay. I'm going to start with the bronzer in here. I was looking on the website and I didn't find the shade that this is on the website. So this might be a shade they created for this palette. I'm just going to grab some on my Unit's number 301 brush. This is their bronzer brush. It does have a really nice mirror in here, so I'm going to try and use this for my look today. Now, the one thing I'll tell you, I am wearing a Lancome foundation today. They don't make this one anymore. This is the Teinte Miracle. I think they replaced it with their newer release, the Teinte Idole, with some sort of a hydrating, radiant situation. I went into store to find my shade. They don't have a shade light enough for me. So this is shade 100. I think they go as light as 90 with their Teinte Idole, the matte version. And I used to have shade 90, and I think it's too light for me now. But I think it would be shade 100, and the lightest shade they had in this was like 120. It's like, okay, Lancome, thanks for leaving me out. But maybe they'll expand their shade range later. But I do like a more radiant, more dewy foundation. I do have it fully set today because I am going to work, and I need to be able to make sure that I've set my whole face because I wear a mask at work, and if I don't set my face and I take my mask off, I have like this rectangular area and two little lines on each side where all of my face products have worn off. So I will definitely, you know, fully set, and it's nice because then these powder products go beautifully over the top. What is this? Wait. What is going on here? Have I been talking? Did I get something on my finger and smudge that in? Because that wasn't there before. And that's definitely not the shade of the bronzer. Okay, sorry. Give me a minute. We'll fix this. The reason I'm telling you what shade I am in the Lancome foundations is so that you can see that this bronzer is not too dark on me. And I am just continuing to add more and more. And if you are not as fair as I am, I don't know how universal this shade is. Maybe it has some building power. Maybe if I was using a brush that wasn't quite as good at diffusing things, if it was a little bit more pinpointed, maybe a natural hair brush that picked up a little bit more and laid down a little heavier. But I don't know, I like the way this is looking. I feel like this works really well. And I feel like this could probably work for people, you know, light, fair, light, maybe even light medium. But would this be enough? All right, so I don't have it on this heavy on my face, but I feel like, yeah, this might even work for people who have light medium or maybe even medium skin. I feel like much after that, it would just kind of be like, why? This is not gonna work for people who have tan skin, who have rich, deep skin tones. I don't know how universal this is, but I'm sure that if you were looking at this palette in person, you could probably notice that for yourself. But it does go a little bit deeper than the way I have it on, but I'm using a brush that very gently kind of applies and diffuses so it doesn't get too crazy. I'm trying to decide between these two blushes, but I feel like this might be too bold for what I'm going for today. I'm probably going to go into this one here. This one's called Blushing Trésor. And I know Trésor is one of their classic fragrances. I feel like they probably have this in their regular lineup. So if you're thinking price per ounce for these, you're getting 0.09 ounces in each one of these pans. And a full-size blush from Lancome goes for $33 and you're getting 0.18 ounces. And since we're getting 4 pans here at a half of the size of a full-size blush, it's like getting 2 full-size blushes. So that's maybe $66 in value. And I feel like that's, ooh, I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. So out of all of these 4 products in the base here, the first 3, Plum Affair, Blushing Trésor, and Rose Gold, are all products that you could find full sizes on the Lancome website. I could not find this shade of bronzer here. This is called Starlight Sparkle. I think it's been in other limited edition palettes in the past, but I didn't find it on their website. Maybe I didn't look hard enough, but I feel like what we're getting here, and I don't know whether the formulations of the bronzer and the highlight are equivalent to their full size products that they charge more for, or whether these are kind of like their blush formulation versions of those products. I feel like this blush is nice. It has a little bit of a sparkle to it. Can you see that? There's a little bit of a shine. And it is a really pretty peach shade. The other one is really a lot more pigmented and has a lot more sparkle to it. Let me swatch these two on the back of my hand here. So this is Plum Affair, and I blended it up this way. And this right here is Blushing Trésor, and I blended it down this way. And I gave like a really strong like color swatch stripe in the middle so you could see it. I feel like these colors are really pretty. This kind of worried me because look how almost purple and eggplant it leans. And then as you blend it out, it gets so soft. I'm a little nervous. I probably won't put it on today, but I feel like both of these blushes have really good potential to fit in nicely. If I'm building a cooler look with the eyes, it'd be nice to go with Plum Affair. And if I'm going more of the warm shades in this palette or any other eyeshadow that I'm reaching for, this kind of Blushing Trésor would be a great place to start. They both have sparkle to them. There's a little bit more gold here, and I feel like it looks a little bit cool, like there might be slight silver sparkles here, but it doesn't, I don't know. I see it more in the pan. Do you see all the shimmer in here? I feel like there's more in here than there is in this, and it could be that the silver sparkles here are showing up a little bit more on camera, but even looking at it in person, I feel like there's more sparkle and shimmer to Plum Affair than there is to Blushing Trésor. All right, let's just keep going. I'm ready to throw on some of this highlighter. I'm super curious what this looks like. I'm gonna just pick it up with my favorite highlighter brush and just kind of try and keep it targeted to right here and maybe drape it over the blush just a little bit. Oh, maybe I picked up too much. I'm gonna dust off what's on my brush. I've got a towel in my lap, and then I'm gonna see if I can kind of buff this in, because the way that it's hitting right here, I feel like it's kind of emphasizing. The older I get, the more I feel like some of that skin right along here, you can see some of the fine lines. And at times, especially on the season, it can look a little dry, which is why I really love cream product, because it helps keep my skin looking juicy. But I feel like if I handle things just right, powder products can look beautiful as well. But sometimes there are some powder products that I just can't get to work for me. And I feel like this one is looking better as I'm taking the time to blend it in. This is what Rose Gold looks like as a full-on finger swatch. Here it is really built up. I'm gonna take, wipe the rest of it off of my hand here and see, you know, if we can get this to blend a little bit more, because I feel like this is definitely too rich of a color for my skin tone. But as I start to blend it out, I feel like it would definitely work as a kind of blush topper. And it works a little bit better when I don't leave it as a full-on stripe, which is why this worked so much better as I continue to buff over it. I feel like it really has potential to be pretty. Let's talk about these eyeshadows. I noticed when I was looking at it that there are, I would say, 3 distinct quads. I feel like these 4 shades here are kind of your darker, richer, smoky quads. The ones in the middle here, this one, this matte shade, is slightly kind of I don't know, maybe pinky mauve in tone, and the rest of them have a little bit of coolness to them. And then you have this quad over here that is very warm in tone, but I feel like you could definitely pull in like some of these darker colors here to use with the center quad. You could definitely, you know, pull in some of these other shades that would really work well with this. I feel like you could really mix and match across here, but you have a nice mix of warm and cool tones. I am gonna be working today, so I'm gonna probably stick more to the lighter tones, maybe even slightly warmer tones. But I am gonna start by grabbing this guy right here, this matte. I don't have any eyeshadow primer on today. As I'm putting this down, I should have mentioned that. I always like to try stuff without primer just to see what happens. And this kind of light, I thought it was going to be more of like a nude shade because that's what it looks like here, but it's going on kind of like a soft light brown. Of course, remember, I'm pretty fair. I wear shade 100 in Lancome foundations and the lightest shade in their Tonti Dole Ultra Wear Concealer. Just, okay, keep that in mind. I'm gonna stick a little bit of the same color on a smaller brush and I'm gonna run it right underneath my lash line. I feel like these are a little powdery. I notice as I'm going in with these white goat hair brushes, I'm getting a lot of like kick up in the pan. And as I tap it off, you can see a lot of powder comes off. I feel like it might just be that I wouldn't get as much kick up if I was using a synthetic brush, but that doesn't make me mad. I don't feel like I'm getting, oh, I am getting a little bit of fallout here, but I'm sure that's gonna be easy peasy to just like brush away. Yeah. It's also a really light shade, so I don't think it's gonna do any irreparable damage. But FYI, there's some fallout with this. I'm gonna go for this matte brown shade. I'm gonna use a small amount of it, just kind of right out here on the edge. The one thing I'll tell you is I used to notice when I was still buying Lancome eyeshadows and things that there was a big difference between what I would get in gift or purchase with purchase, and that's what this is, a purchase with purchase, than what I would get if I were to buy one of the eyeshadows, like one of the quads or one of the quints. I remember when they used to have singles and you could pick whichever one. In my college days, there were two shades, kind of like a bright gold and a metallic bronze that I wore nonstop, and I just would go and get refills for my little refillable Lancome eyeshadow duo. Loved them so much. But I remember not having as much success with the stuff that came in gift or purchase with purchase. And I sometimes wonder if at the holidays that happens. You know, they're wanting to get something that looks exciting and maybe pull you in, and they pull you in with the skincare or the full-size items like the lipsticks and things. And sometimes the powder products are not the same. I don't know because it's been forever since I've used that, but again, I think about that. I feel like I could probably get a lot more pigmentation if I were using an eyeshadow primer. I feel like this is blending really nicely. I like how soft and blendable they are, but I'm worrying that if I keep going over these areas, am I gonna blend it away? They feel really soft and a little powdery. The eye look is nice so far. I'm kind of looking at this peach shade right here. I kind of want to see what happens if I, you know, pat this on the lid. In tapping on that peach eyeshadow, I got a little bit of fallout here. The good thing is it's very similar in tone to the blush and highlight. We'll just blend it in, So maybe this would be the sort of product that you'd want to maybe use with an eyeshadow primer or do your eyes first, because I am getting a little bit of fallout here. But again, fallout doesn't mean anything. It's more, are we getting the colors that we like? Are we getting the pigmentation that we like? How does it wear? Because I'll do my eyes first. If I know a product has a tendency to fall out, I'm not going to discount it for that, because sometimes everything else is beautiful about it. You just have to rearrange the order you put things on your face. There's this really metallic color right here that I'm really rather interested to see what happens if I just kind of use it kind of like a topper shade right over everything, give it a little bit of sparkle. I want a little something in the inner corner, so I'm going to use this light champagne shade here. It's really quite light, and let's see if we get some, ooh, wow, it's very frosty. I didn't expect it to be that pigmented. I feel like this is a really pretty eye look and is perfect for the type of day I'm having today because I gotta go to work. But I feel like overall the colors work well, the blush, the bronzer, the highlight with this eye look. And I feel like if I were to switch it up and do the plum blush, I feel like using more of these cooler shades on this end of the palette here would be really interesting. Let's swatch all of these and see what they look like. And I'm gonna swatch them kind of in quads. My neighbor just started mowing his lawn, I'm sorry. Just hear the going and I'm like, it's October, aren't we done mowing lawns yet? Apparently not. All right, so this is that first quad. It starts with a really light, and what for me would be skin tone sort of matte shade. This is that peachy kind of metallic. It's not really metallic, it's more like a satin that I put all over the lid. This is that light kind of brown that I thought was going to be skin tone, but it's very, very light, a little bit peachy in tone. And this is the metallic sparkler that I tapped all over the lid. So the only shade that I'm not using today is this shade right here, but I have the other three on. All right, so the next four shades, these two mattes here, this one is almost my skin tone. Ooh, I don't know. This one's pretty, it leans a little bit mauve-y. This one kind of surprised me. It has a really nice sparkle to it, as does this one down here. It leans a little bit more bronzy, but I feel like this quad here is really pretty. But if you look at the mattes, look at how fair those are. If you're looking at these, look how light these shades are. I feel like we get a little bit more depth here, but they're still rather light. I feel like you have like these two metallics here and this one here are really pretty. The rest of them are very soft. I feel like they could very easily blend into nearly nothing, but they're so light. I wear shade 100 in Lancome foundations, and if this is what they look like on me, you can hardly see them. Keep that in mind. All right, let's take a look at the next quad. This is the last grouping, and I'm glad to see that we have some intensity here. This right here in the pan, if you're looking at it, it looks kind of like a metallic-y brown, but here it's definitely kind of like a black base with a little bit of, I don't know, metallic sparkle. It leans slightly bronze, but mostly it looks like a eyeshadow with a lot of black base to it. This one's really pretty. This is the one I put in the inner corner. And when I laid it down, let me put a little bit more in so you can see. I feel like it just kind of, whoop, there it is. It's really pretty. And I blended it. I feel like I might have blended it out too far. But the feeling that I'm getting from all of these is they have kind of like a powdery vibe to them. I feel like the blushes were like half the size of a regular size blush. With these 12 eyeshadows, you're getting the same amount of product as if you bought 3 of their full-size quints. And their full-size quints go for $50. Their full-size quints usually have 0.14 ounces. And if you add up everything that's in here, you're getting 0.432 ounces. So literally it's like getting 3 full-size eyeshadows. Now, I don't know if the formulation is the same, but I feel like these colors, they're pretty, they're wearable. I definitely feel like this here is kind of giving that non-adventurous makeup vibe. That's okay, really usable shades, but I feel like these colors, with the exception of that last kind of quad, they're really well suited to someone like me who has fair to light skin. I don't know how this palette would work well for other people. Let me put some eyeliner on and we'll come back and finish the look with mascara and lip products. In this holiday set, you do get a full size of their Lash Idol mascara. This normally runs for $27. I have used and really appreciated this mascara in the past. I noticed right after I started working again, I hadn't been working for several years and I went back to work this March, that when I wore this mascara at work, and I'm gonna go work today too, but I'm gonna put it on anyway because I work in a dentist office, and when I'm with patients, I'm looking down at them and my eyelashes kind of curve up and touch right here. So I'm not gonna curl my lashes today. I'm just gonna put this on in hopes that I don't have transfer from the tips of my lashes up here. If it's a regular day and I'm dealing with people living my life and I'm not looking down and my eyelashes are touching, we don't have a problem, but I do get a little bit of transfer with this. I feel like I mostly have that transfer problem because I don't use an eyeshadow primer, and I do use eye cream and eye serum on not just my under eye, but also on my eyelid. I feel like when I take the time to make sure that my eye is completely cleaned off before I put anything down, I feel like I have less transfer overall. I'm gonna use it anyway today. never do good with the spiky wand and kind of like a curved. That's just me. If you do well with that sort of thing. I feel like it does a really great job of making my lashes look longer. Okay, I'm not going to talk and do this or it's going to be a disaster and I'm going to end up with mascara everywhere. I really like that I get some nice definition from this and I don't always get a lot of clumps or spikes. This is definitely one of the mascaras that I have repurchased in the past. My favorite is always, where is it? Mr. Big. And the funny thing is I ordered a Mr. Big and my like actual invoice says Mr. Big, but they sent me, where is it? Hello. But I got a Bi-Facil, which is not a bad mascara. It's just not my favorite. So I've already contacted customer support. Here's hoping. I'm willing to send back the other one. They probably will tell me just keep it. But I'm hoping to get the Mr. Big that I ordered because this is the one that since it debuted in 2017, I've never been without a tube. Love, love, love. But this Idol mascara is actually really nice. I get a little bit more drama and volume from the Mr. Big. But I really like the way this looks. I think this is pretty. I think it gives me some nice length, some definition, and I don't get the, which can occasionally happen with this one, the chunky kind of like spidery goopy lashes if I apply too much of this. And sometimes that's the vibe that I want. I want that really intense eye look, but this keeps it a little bit narrower, a little bit thinner, a little bit more individual lash. And I think part of it is just because of the type of brush that we have going on here where it's, you know, spiky, kind of silicone-y rubberized wand. I think that's probably a large part to it. I just had to wipe off any foundation and like powder that were on my lips because it's time to try on the lip products. I love that we're getting 2 full-size lip products and we're getting them in the sort of packaging you would get if you were to buy them directly from the counter. This kind of squared off packaging here for the L'Absolu Gloss, and this packaging here where you press the button at the top and it pulls out. Like, this is exactly what you would get if you were to go to the counter. And for years, decades actually, I remember always getting a dumbed down version of their lip products where they wouldn't put them in the same slightly squared off packaging that these guys came in. You wouldn't get the cool mechanism like this. You always got something that was a little bit less and more affordable to reproduce packaging to give away as a gift. Maybe the product on the inside would be the same, but the outside experience wasn't there. And I feel like we're really getting the experience this year of Lancome lip products. I feel like this right here is gorgeous and pretty. It's one of the best holiday palettes packaging wise that I've seen from Lancome in decades. All right, I'm gonna start with this gloss. This is our L'Absolu Gloss. This is in the shade Parisienne, Atelier Parisienne. And it is kind of a really light shade. Here is a swatch of it on the back of my hand. It does lean just a little bit peach. It almost looks a little pink on my lips. I don't know, this feels kind of interesting. I'm looking at it. Is there any shimmer to this? There is a slight shimmer and sheen to this, and I don't know that I see it too much as I'm wearing it. The one thing I am noticing, and I dipped in once and applied, I'm like, I need a little more. So I went in for a second dip, and I find that with a slightly lighter gloss, I am noticing it kind of collect right here and here in the corners of my lips. And I feel like some formulas tend to do that. They tend to kind of sink down in the corners as the day progresses. And maybe an hour from now, I'll start talking and I'll see like little stringing and pulling. I feel like I should have stopped with like one layer. And I feel like it's a little bit more obvious with kind of these milky, kind of lighter shades. But I think overall it looks really pretty on the lips, but I am getting kind of like a little collection here. Yeah, I feel like you have to be careful where this goes. This also has a slightly stickier feel to it, and that is not necessarily bad because sometimes a lip gloss that doesn't really have any stick to it can kind of slide around everywhere and it acts more like a lip oil, but a little bit of stickiness is good. I feel like this has a little bit more stickiness to it than maybe the glosses we've been seeing in the last couple of years. So this lipstick is the L'Absolu Rouge in French Tea. This is $32. I love the mechanism for these. It has the Lancome rose on the top. You press it. This shoots out the bottom, and this is the lipstick. Oh, such a pretty, pretty color. And I feel like I did the right choice today going with the warmer eye and the warmer blush because this French Tea lipstick is going to look really pretty. I've always liked Lancome lipsticks. I've had so many of them over the years. I do have another one that's in this newer size packaging. This is one that they did for Valentine's Day this year. This one's shaped like a heart, so cute, but this is a matte. It's good to try their cream. It's been a long time. The only other two L'Absolu that I have are before they reformulated and they changed the packaging. These are perfect cylinders, and now it's slightly more hourglass shaped, but that's okay. I remember having Lancome lipsticks for years past with formulas I don't even make anymore. I have been loving Lancome lipsticks forever. And this is a really good, this reminds me of all of the nice cream lipsticks I used to have from Lancome. It smells like a Lancome lipstick. If you have a love affair, you're gonna recognize this. This is gonna be a nostalgic lipstick, even though I think they've reformulated their L'Absolu Rouge line and they have updated the packaging. I really like the touch of having kind of like these swirly bands at the bottom. The texture here is nice. This is really nice and weighted. This of course is plastic, but I think it does a really nice job overall. It does feel like an expensive luxury lipstick. For $32, I think that this is a nice overall package and presentation. Here's where we're gonna talk about whether this set is worth it. And I think a lot of it comes down to, are you a makeup person? Are you a skincare person? Or do you like both? And I think that if you like both, yes. I feel like the powder products are really pretty. I feel like I got a nice eye look, but I feel like the shades in here are probably better suited to people with light to medium skin tones. I feel like anybody with richer skin tones, like if you've got tan, deep, or rich, this is just not gonna work for you. And I don't like that they don't have options. There have been years in the past where they have different palettes and you could choose that you want this palette or the other palette. I feel like this year they're upgrading us with really luxe packaging here, and the actual, like, these are products that you would get. They're not in like gift packaging, they're in their regular packaging. I feel like that's a super upgrade, but I don't feel that the shades are terribly inclusive here or in here. Now, does that mean it's not a good product? No. The other thing I'm reminding myself of is that these products are a little on the powdery side. They blend really easily, but if you continue blending, sometimes they'll be like, wait, where did it go? I feel like that happened a little bit with the eyeshadow and a little bit with the blush, but overall, it's a pretty look. I'm hoping it wears well all day. Now, things I know I like. I like this. Absolutely love this. And I feel like this is gonna be a good addition to my daily everyday. If we're talking about prices, this is $27, this is $32, this is $27, this is $32, the Genifique is $78, the eye cream is full size, and this is $69, and these are all full size products here. Every single one of them. If you happen to like Lancome fragrances, you get a little teeny tiny sample. This is pretty, but I also like that it looks like the full size bottle and it has like the little ribbon detail. I feel like the attention to detail here is fantastic. I really like that. And then I feel like, you know, the other things that we get, like the half size of the face cream, at least it's not a small, like 0.25, it's a half an ounce. This is enough to try to see if it works for you. And the same here with their Tonique Comfort. I think that you've got some good things going on. This is the one that gives me a moment of pause because I don't think it's as inclusive as it could be, but I feel like overall I got a really pretty look. This is valued at $216 based on price per ounce. I know myself, I wouldn't go out and spend $216 on, you know, 4 powder face products and 12 eyeshadows. And especially in these more subdued colors with the finishes are everyday finishes. It's pretty, I got a nice look for it, but to me, this is not valuable at $216. These 5 products right here make it worth it for me. These are things that I have bought these before full size. Every single one of these I have purchased full size for myself. I even have purchased the full size of the fragrance. I feel like everything in here is playing really well. If you add everything up together, every single product inside the bag, the total value is $533.87, which means that this bag here, like if you minus that from the $542, this is like $8.13. I feel like this bag is worth more than $8 though. I feel like it's nice. I don't know that if I was going to the store, I would pick it out, but now that it's in my collection, I definitely think I'm gonna get use from it. I feel the construction is quality. I feel it's gonna last for a long time. I'm worried it might be a little big and I'm gonna pack a lot of extra stuff in it. Maybe I'll put some socks in there when I'm loading stuff up for the weekend. But for me, the value really does come from these 5 full-size products. And if you are one of those people where you want to get a lot of bang for your buck and you already have a favorite product over the price of $42 that you could buy from Lancome, I think this is a great set. I really, really do. And remember that on the Lancome website, you can get this full set, $75, if you bundle it with something as simple as a mascara. So $103 as opposed to $117 or $18 total. It saves you some cash. Just keep that in mind. Overall, I think this is the best holiday box I've seen from Lancome in years. And I haven't bought it for a while because it just hadn't been inspiring. And this time I saw it and I was like, yes, Lancome. And I think for me, a lot of it was the full-size products and that they were not using gift packaging, but real beautiful packaging to kind of lure me in. And I'll tell you, it worked. It worked. And I feel like this is the best value that we've gotten price-wise in a box for a long time. I think it's just really, really great. Let me know, are you interested in these holiday boxes or gifts from the more traditional beauty brands that we've seen in department stores for years? If you have a favorite product from Lancome, what is it and why? If you are thinking, no, this set is not for me, tell me why in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.